Yo, what is up everybody? I am Legend, your favorite traveling musician right here on YouTube. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to put together a song, how I personally go about piecing together a song once you have all the ideas laid out and everything, just different techniques and all that stuff coming right up. Let's go. So before I begin today's video, I just want to ask everybody who's watching right now to scroll down and hit that like button. It'll help this video get in front of a lot more people. Also, if you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you will be notified every single time I upload a brand new video. If it's not too much to ask, watch as much of the video as possible because that'll also help my YouTube algorithm rankings and all that stuff. So song structure, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to structure a song. When I'm first working on an idea, I always come in and I just lay out everything. So all the instruments, all the different parts and things that I can hear, whether it be a synth, strings, drums, flutes, samples, whatever it is, I put everything on like just one track just to kind of pack it all down, get all of the ideas out. So in that case, we have this song here called Ambient Light, and this is what it sounded like when I first started the beat. I just splattered out everything. I had basically musical diarrhea. So pretty solid idea. Obviously, going into this track, you don't want to start the song off like that. At least I wouldn't want to, because it's too much going on all at once to just kind of boom. I basically go with verse, chorus, maybe another chorus, and then a bridge, chorus, outro. I'll show you some examples, but so basically we have the song Ambient Light, starting out with the verse. So got a lot of synths, the drums, the toms, everything just playing all out at once. So I basically isolated the synth as like an intro to kind of like ease you into the track. You know, you don't want to just come out. Sometimes you want to come out just with that big hammer, but this is not that kind of track. Boom, there you go. And then in this case, what I wanted to do is I introduced a kick. So the kick was just a boom, boom, boom. It's like the heartbeat of the song. There's different ways, and this is when the verse starts. There's different things that you can do to differentiate your intro from the verse, from the chorus, from the bridge, and I'll get into all that. But as far as verse goes, you want to keep it simple, because if you plan on having somebody sing or rap on the track, you want to give them space to be able to do what they're going to do. You don't want to bog down the verses with a bunch of different instruments and a bunch of different things going on, because the listener is going to be too distracted to listen to what the person is even saying. And this is when you find listeners often say, oh, I like the beat, but you know, the song itself wasn't so great, or I wasn't even paying attention because I was too busy listening to what was going on with the beat. I think about, number one, what I'm going to be singing or rapping, you know, while I'm making the track, so I can pay attention to what I do on the verses. So this is a very simple, just a kick just comes in, and that's all the verses, the kick and the snare. Now, I would say this is very typical for like a upbeat pop record, because you know that doom, doom, doom. It's a very typical thing to do. You want to keep it simple, okay? The key to making hit songs, hit records, and popular songs and songs that people like is keeping it simple. There was like a study somewhere, or somebody said something where they said a listener is not able to process more than 3 notes at a time. This is why the most simple songs with the most simple bass lines, or it's just a kick and a bass, a kick and some annoying little synth, that's why those are the most popular songs on the radio, the most viral hits, because they're so simple. So you want to keep it simple, okay? At least for the verse, man. And you want to give your artist enough room to breathe. So you can have like a full-on like drums doing stuff right here, or like if you're doing a rap song, you got some drums with some trap hi-hats going, you know, you can do stuff like that. Just don't do too much with the programming, and don't do too much with whatever instruments you play. I say limit it to about 1 or 2 instruments. Now then you want to differentiate. So the way that I do this, as the verse progresses on, it goes into the lean between the verse and the chorus. So it's a little bit, maybe the music is doing the same thing, but the vocals change, or maybe both changes. It, whatever your preference is. But in my case, the synths stay the same. What I do is I just introduce another part of the drums, which is the toms. So that sounds a little bit like this. So it's just incremental changes. This is my favorite way of laying out a song. I just do these very minute incremental changes and additions, basically building up to what the climax is, which is the chorus. You want the chorus to be the biggest part of the song. And that's not necessarily sound wise. It doesn't always have to be the loudest and have the most going on. Sometimes you can draw it back. Like I showed in that Making a Christmas Beat video, I didn't have any drums play on the chorus, and that was my differentiation. So there's definitely ways you can invert this. It doesn't always have to be big, huge chorus and blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it could be the reverse. It could be a lot going on, not too much, but a lot going on in the verse, and then you just strip down the chorus and there's no drums, or there's just a snare, or there's just a hi-hat. In this case, though, we have the lean where the toms come in. Then we have the first chorus. I just, once again, the drums are doing the same thing, but I add a little hi-hat. So it's like, just again, very small incremental changes, and then another synth on top of that. So dun 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 dun. I'll show you what that sounds like right here. So that is my chorus. That's my first chorus. It's basically the same thing that the verse is doing with as far as that main ambient synth goes, but I just added the toms that came in the lean, that extra synth right there, and the hi-hat, the t. Again, very incremental changes, but it makes all the difference. You don't want to keep the listener bored. You want to keep them guessing as to what's coming next or what's going to come next. So throw in a little hi-hat here, throw in a little open cymbal there, throw in an extra synth right here, or a bass line right here. Throw in something that's going to, oh, that's new. You want to keep people like engaged with your music, and the only way to do that is to change up the music or change up with what your vocals are doing. And in this case, I did both. It goes back into the verses again with the toms and the kick and the synth and all that stuff. But the lean, when it comes in the second time, and this is another thing that I like to do, I even like to differentiate my first lean, my second lean, you know, just to kind of give it even more depth. The one that's coming in on the chorus, I added this one that kind of has a it reminds me of kind of like a rodeo, because you got the horse. And also notice I also added another it's kind of like a percussive synth, just to add again something else that keeps them guessing. I just was going through different synths and I loved how it sounded, so I wanted to see how it sounded with the rest of the track. It sounds pretty weird by itself. When you actually add everything else, you get something pretty dope. So sick. And then once again we come back into the chorus, and again I have it repeating twice. That's usually a thing that I do, that a lot of people do in the music industry. After the second chorus, it kind of strips down because there's no bridge on here. It's more of like just an open space of the synth doing what it's doing, and I'm gonna do something different with the vocals. I don't know what yet, but it's just basically the same synth playing over and over. And then the last chorus comes in, and this is I added this like piercing high, which sounds something like this. love that thing, man. And that's actually following what my vocals are gonna do. It's like, whatever you need, baby, I'll supply it. That's one way you can do it. So this song is pretty simple. It's basically just the same synth repeating over and over throughout the entire song, and then it's adding incremental changes to differentiate the verse from the lean, from the chorus. And there is no bridge, but if there was a bridge, it would be that too. Basically just adding a kick, and then when the next part comes, you add a hi-hat, and the next part comes, you add a few synths, and just building on it like that. It's kind of like you think of it as you're making a building, or you're an architect. You start with the foundation, which is the main synth, and then you come to the next level, which is the additional synth and the kick, do, and you just keep building until you get to that pointy top, which is the climax. So that's one way you can lay out a song, by me adding different things with the drums and adding synths on top of what was already going on. So you have that foundation throughout the entire song, but you just add to it. In this case, there was a lot of changes and additions. You do it like that. So I don't know if that really answered your question. I tried to explain the best that I could. It's hard for me to explain. It's better for me to show. But that's it for this tutorial, guys. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. DM me on Instagram and all that good stuff. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Turn on the bell notification so you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. I'll see you when this video's done. I'm not gonna see you in the next one. You'll okay, anyway.